So, hey, we are talking nutrition. We are talking focusing on 2B mindset. And I'm just going to share my screen and show you how to access and kind of the basis of 2B mindset. And then we're going to go into a little Q&A because we've got some successful 2B mindset participants in here. Okay, share screen, desktop, share. My 500 tabs. Okay. So are you seeing 2B mindset, Beachbody On Demand?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. So if you go to Beachbody On Demand programs, scroll down. So even if you have a free membership, you can access this part. And I'm just gonna make that smaller. There we go. Scroll down, and new and featured, you'll see this introduction to nutrition. If you click on there, it takes you to 2 nutrition programs to choose from: 2B Mindset and Ultimate Portion Fix. So it gives you the short video for both programs so you can learn about them, learn a little bit more about Shakeology. And then we are going to focus on 2B Mindset today. So we click here, look at learn more, and it takes us to the 2B Mindset program. So you should be able to get this far even with a free membership. But the next step, once you've bought our MBF challenge pack or any of the nutrition programs, is you'll have access to all of these videos as well. So there's a get started guide, tells you everything you need to know to begin learning the 2B mindset. A go-to guide, which if you bought the printed form, has the guide for takeaways for many of the videos, food lists, restaurant guides, tips for grocery shopping, how to stock your kitchen, and much more. The monthly tracker. So if you do not get the written portion, you can actually print these off. The nice thing about getting these in PDF form is then you can just take it to like any of the office stores, and you get it spiral bound. So you actually, it's even better because you can open your book up flat, print it up at home, whichever way works best for you. Or some of our participants find just writing in a regular notebook is just as useful. And you just have to have the basis of what you need to write down each day. Food lists, US and Canada, I guess. I don't know what foods we have different between. I guess it's more for US and Canada. Some of the names will be different once you head into England, and of course France. And we'll probably have more and more of these lists as we spread around the world. So is 2B mindset right for me? I mean, in my opinion, 2B mindset is right for everyone. The big difference in 2B mindset is it's just laid out for everyday use. You can follow it when you go out to eat. You can follow it when you go away. You can follow it when you're not feeling well, when you're feeling great, when you're trying to lose weight, when you're not trying to lose weight. You just tweak it a little bit. You just refocus how close you're sticking to that plate and just eating once. If you're trying to lose weight, you're going to limit your accessories, which is, putting sauces and cheese and things like that on your food. Everything is laid out to explain all that. But that'll be the difference between maintenance and using it forever versus weight loss. So Ilana has lost over 100 pounds. She grew up being overweight. She grew up, thinking she was going to be overweight forever. And then she became a nutritionist, a dietitian, because she just had a passion for, she yo-yoed in her weight for so many years. So she decided to design this plan that worked for her and then share it with other people. You can scroll through all this yourself. I'm just going to stop sharing my screen so you can see our beautiful faces. And the plan is just, it's so versatile. The one thing I find, some people, when they start 2B mindset, especially when they've done really, plans where you have to measure everything, you have to lay it out. They're like, well, how big is my plate supposed to be? How much am I supposed to put on my plate? A lot of it's trial and error, right? A lot of it is it's best not to go for a giant plate. If you're ever not sure, start with a smaller plate. The way the program tells you how much of what to put on your plate, like breakfast is half carbs and half protein. So, well, what if my shake is my protein? Well, you probably have carbs in there too, but you know, a shake and a piece of toast, that will be half and half. But you're going to track it. You're going to write everything down. You're going to see how you feel. You're going to see if that fuels you through your morning or for your workout or whatever you need it for. Through all your meals, you're going to track it, and then we weigh in every day. Before you freak out about weighing in every day, that's part of this too. That's part of the mindset. Your weight is not something to beat yourself up about. It's not something that if I'm not this weight, the world isn't good. Weight is just a number. It's just a number to help us know what direction we're going in. It doesn't matter what our goal is. Each day we look at it to see if it went up or it went down or it stayed the same. So if you're trying to lose weight, you're going to work with the program to help you reach that goal. So this is the point where I'm going to come to Erin. I mean, if you've seen, we've shared a video. If you haven't seen the video, you should ask in our comments below when we post this. But Erin has lost, it was 64 pounds over just over 6 months. And then she's kept it off, or over a year. And then you kept it off for 6 months. So pretty awesome. And that was through focusing exclusively on this program on nutrition and then adding in fitness to make it work. So Erin, what are some things you found that kind of helped you focus in the beginning and have helped you carry on?
So like you mentioned, I really focused just on the nutrition part and getting down, learning the program because I felt like if I tried to work out at the same time, it would be too much for me and it would be too overwhelming, and then I was afraid I would fall off and quit and not do it. So so I learned the program, and then once I felt comfortable with a lot of the different principles and stuff, then I started doing the workout programs too. And I know you asked me, I think it was yesterday, about dinner. Right?
Yes. Like knowing, you know, sometimes when it's all vegetables, you're like, oh, I'm going to go back for seconds because it's just vegetables.
Yeah. And that was something that was a kind of a big deal for me too, because dinner was where I would find that I would overeat the most if I wasn't trying to eat healthy. So there's a few things that I knew to look for in my day that would prompt me to eat more at dinner time. So like if I don't eat enough lunch, like quantity wise, then I'm more likely to overeat at dinner. And then also the amount of each food group. Like if I just have a plate of vegetables, that's not going to cut it for me. So I need to make sure that I have enough protein and my carb. I'm kind of a carby, fanatic, so I have to watch it with the carbs, but it is important for me to have the energy to last the afternoon. The other thing is I need to be drinking enough water, not only throughout the day, but especially in the afternoon. Yeah. If I've gone from like 12 to 3 and I haven't had any water, it's like, uh-oh, that makes me hungrier at dinner time. So it's really important for me once my lunch is finished that I continue drinking water throughout until dinner time. The other thing is if I go too long between meals, so if I say it's like 12 o'clock and I have lunch and then I don't eat till like 5:30 or 6, that's too long for me to go without eating a snack. I don't feel well. I feel lightheaded. I'm grumpy. I'm hangry. And I just don't have the energy. So I have to shorten that time to like I can go probably like 4 hours. And then I start to notice, I'm like, okay, I need to eat now. So I make sure that I have a snack before lunch and dinner, because most of the time we're not eating dinner at 4 o'clock, you know? So, so I will have a snack between lunch and dinner, and it usually involves a piece of fruit and some protein, or my Beachbody bar. And if for some reason I don't get that afternoon snack, I'm okay with having like a piece of fruit, maybe even like an hour before dinner, just because that a little bit amount of sugar from the fruit will help sustain me to where I don't feel like I'm starving by the time I get my food. And I drink 16 ounces of water, like the program suggests, before each meal. But it used to be that I would drink it at like maybe an hour before or 30 minutes before, but it was just too far out for me. So I will hammer my 16 ounces as I'm taking my plate to the dinner table, because it fills it up like right away. And I don't feel quite as hungry by the time I get to the table. So timing with the water is very helpful for me. And then I'm not always dinner and done anymore either. In the beginning I was, because I was in weight loss mode and I wanted to stick to the program as closely as I could. If I did need an after dinner snack, I would have one, and it didn't affect me too much, if it was the right kind of snack. But
a bowl of ice cream.
Right? A chocolate cake. So I'm not always dinner and done. And so like at dinner time, if I know, I'm going to try to choose at the beginning of the day though, if I'm dinner and done or not. That way I have a goal, and then, you know, if I've already decided in the morning, it's like, no, I said I was going to be dinner and done. And so I am. But on other mornings I'll get up and I'm like, I am not dinner and done today, you know? So again, I just make sure it's the right kind of snack. And on those days, it'll help me not overeat at dinner, because I know I can look forward to that healthy snack again later. And then I always have something like hot tea to drink. I mean, it's kind of hard now because it's so hot, but normally like in the winter, I'll have a hot tea, or I'll have a bubble water, you know, a sparkling water, and put lime or lemon or make it fun. So I have that to look forward to too. So it just feels like a treat, even though it's just water, you know?
Have you tried Bevy before dinner, or have you tried Bevy yet?
I haven't.
Okay.
I want to.
That would be one of those things in that, you know, when I find if I don't need a snack, like an hour before dinner, I'm like, okay. And it's sweet enough. And also I can put it in 30 ounces of water and then drink all this as well.
Yeah.
In that hour before dinner.
Yeah.
Which I think is awesome.
For sure.
Very good. Those were like some amazing tips. And I really like the focusing on that 16 ounces of water right before you eat. That
yeah.
I've had a few people that are like, oh yeah, I only got in 30 ounces of water today. And I'm like, like I don't even know how that can happen.
Yeah.
You just don't eat your next meal till you had your water. Like,
right. Yeah.
Where's your water? Is your water bottle not attached to you? Like, if I get in the car, I'm like, I don't have my water.
Me too.
Yes. So, Rhonda, do you have any good tips that have really helped you on your struggle days or?
My struggle days.
Or even on your good days, what is working?
Tracking everything. Writing everything down. I've kind of gotten into the habit of doing it every evening, and that's not the best thing to do, I think, because I find that I'm forgetting a few things, and then in the morning I'm like, oh yeah, I had that too. So I'm gonna try and get back to doing it as I'm preparing it, or in the morning if I decide to plan what I'm actually gonna eat for that day.
I shared a post that Megan had shared. It was from a nutritionist, but it showed like it can be over 500, not that we're counting calories, but it can be over 500 calories different if you don't include that spoonful of peanut butter and your butter you cooked your food in, and your extra salad dressing, and your I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's my problem. All those little things. It's just a tiny bit more. It's like, how many times a day? It's just a tiny bit more. It's just one extra serving of carbs. It's just, yeah, it makes, it depends on your goals, right? If you want to lose weight, you have to follow the plan. I mean, that's why all these plans are designed, because it's not hard if you follow the plan. Let's say working out. Well, I'm just going to skip that day, that day, because it doesn't really work for me. Well, the plan's laid out, so you build the muscles in this way, or you get that extra calorie burn from that cardio, or so it's not hard if you follow it. It's not always easy to follow the plan, because we get hungry, we get this and that, but it depends what your goals are. Like if you're happy, if you're comfortable, then do modify, then do make it fit your whatever you're doing. But then you can't turn around and say, oh, that didn't work for me.
Yeah.
That plan doesn't work. That's because you didn't follow it. So
it's amazing too how quickly adding those little teeny extra pieces of food or dressing or whatever it is will add up in your day. And then once you get started going, oh, well, it's just a little bit more, then you're more likely to keep doing it and like turning to other things too. So like, it's okay, just have this extra dressing. Oh, it's just a little extra sugar, and then 2 weeks later, you're like, I haven't made any progress. But it's like, well, how many things have you just said, oh, I'll just have a little bit more. It's just so easy to get into that habit of adding when you don't really need to,
Yeah. And sometimes you can add a little bit, and if you are tracking on the scale every day or whatever, and it might not change, you're like, oh, it's not that big a deal, but like my body will tolerate it, and all of a sudden it'll go, what? You didn't stop, beep.
Yes.
Dang it. Like vacation, I'll come back from vacation, I'll be like, oh, well, I didn't gain any weight, so I can keep drinking that glass of wine every night or whatever. And then my body's like, nope, you're home.
Yeah.
I'll show you. And likewise, that's why I asked about the dinner. And I was trying to go longer without a snack in the afternoon. And I wasn't having my bevy before dinner, which I had been doing for like a week. And so I think my body's like, oh, wait a minute. It couldn't figure out where to stop. And
yeah.
It was mostly vegetables I was having. So 2B mindset says, if Dinteo, do I need that eating opportunity? And if you're hungry, have more. Like, you're not supposed to be starving, but make sure vegetables is that next choice of what you have before you add something else. So, dinner but sometimes there's stuff in with the vegetables. There's sauces, or there's a stir fry that includes protein or whatever. All those things add in. So it's just being aware and conscious of what you're refueling your body with. So comparing this to Ultimate Portion Fix, Ultimate Portion Fix, you get to the end of the day, and we were talking last week about reverse planning your day. So you're not stuck at dinner with nothing or with a weird combination, because we separate it by containers. So, 2D mindset, dinner is 3/4 vegetable and 1/4 protein. So you can technically have as many vegetables as you want. It's just being aware what's on those. And so, my biggest tips I got from Erin are hydration is 100% in drinking within that window of eating. And then don't let yourself get so hangry that you can't control. You know, the program is kind of focuses on 3 meals, but it depends what your eating windows. Like if you get up, I mean, and especially now, like everyone here is a mom with kids in school, and things are crazy with our distance learning too. So
Yes.
figuring out how to balance everything, and not forgetting to eat, because my kids are on their own now. I'm like, figure out your own food. And it's nice. One thing for me, when you have younger kids, my problem with Ultimate Portion Fix is when they come and try and take some of your food, and I'm like, no, that's from my container. And if you eat it, then I'm going to be hungry. Ultimate Portion Fix, or 2B months, I'm like, I'll just go get more vegetables. It's all good.
Yeah.
But no, they both have definite big benefits. My screen is divided up by 2B, Ultimate Portion Fix, 2B. So yes.
Is this a good time for a question, or were you? Okay.
I was just about to say, did anyone have any questions or follow up? Or
I'm just curious to know, like, just statistically, I guess, what people are better with sticking with for their first program, like when it comes to nutrition. Like if they start with UPF, and then they, or they start with 2B, what do people usually stick around for? And not to say you can't, because I do use some of the ideas from 2B mindset. I love the water first, veggies most. That's always stuck with me. But that's not the program that I'm following. But I'm just curious to know for new people, because I feel like I don't want my new clients to come in thinking they have to do what I'm doing, and really, I always say, go to the videos and watch both and see which one speaks to you. But I'm just wondering, like, what do you think is a better starter program?
I think it so much depends on people. Like Sam Juanita, who just came in, she followed Clean Week, and she followed the meal plan. Mm-hmm. And she's like, just tell me what to do. Just tell me what to eat and when. And like, you need to do Ultimate Portion Fix. Like she needs a meal plan with the containers and to tell her exactly what to do. So, and I'd say, I mean, if people come in and they're willing to just tell me what to do and I'll do it and I'll follow it. That one can be easier in the fact there's no questioning what you're having and what you're eating. Like you put the containers and that's what you eat. 2B does take more thought and more learning, I think. Because you do have to track and you do have to figure it out a bit, I think, more before you can focus. I think people who have more weight to lose potentially benefit more from 2B, because Ultimate Portion Fix for a lot of people is too much to eat when you're a bigger weight. And I found every one of my customers they're like, I can't eat all that food, but Autumn says I have to. And it doesn't necessarily benefit them. So,
and they eat down a plant. Like I've had quite a few people who are like, I just can't eat all that food. So I eat in like plan C when they're supposed to be eating in like F or something. It's like, I'm like, you're not going to lose weight. That's, if you're not fueling yourself with enough, balanced macronutrients, you're not going to get the results. And it's hard for people to get that. I know when Autumn did the 80-day obsession group, I remember she just kept driving that home because she'd get people saying, hey, I'm going to eat an A because I want to lose more weight. And it was like, no, you're not getting the science. So it's interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I think they're both equally excellent. It's just hard to know which is right. And sometimes people can float back and forth,
which is not always good, because then you do give yourself more leeway. Like I'm like, oh, I'll do Ultimate Portion Fix, but I'll have twice as many vegetables because I just like having the vegetables.
Yeah.
I think you should follow. If you do Ultimate Portion Fix, I think you need to follow it.
Yeah. I mean, like follow for like, you know, I'm going to give myself 3 weeks this month to do just 2B and then see how I feel, what my results are. And then, you know, try ultimate and see which is working for you. Cause you know, I think there's different seasons of our life that we can follow different things.
But I mean, you can say it's going all in with whichever one you choose, because I mean, look at Erin, like she's lean and mean now and she has stuck with 2B mindset. Like for me, I'm like, maybe I need to go back to Ultimate Portion Fix to see my biggest results, but no. Like you can see, we see amazing results with both. And I think it's just committing. It's not going, maybe that'll be better. Maybe it's like workouts, right? People who ask, which will give me the best results? And I'm like, the one you're going to do, the one you're going to mentally connect with the trainer and the amount of time you're working out. And you're going to enjoy it at least a little bit. So the workout, what time is the best to work out? Whatever time you can fit in your schedule and make it happen regularly. Like there's no, like, I mean, you can do Peloton, you can do anything, but you have to do it, right?
Consistency over time. It's just sticking and honing in on whatever program you are doing and following it.
So whichever nutrition plan is gonna feel like it's a good fit for you. And we can show you people from both that have amazing results, but they committed to that plan. And I probably shouldn't, I mean, I switched to try Ultimate Portion Fix because I was not following 2B 100%. So I just need to go back and follow 2B 100%. And yeah. Okay, doing it.
I have a little question added to that though, because you touched on it, but you said you kind of have to track in the beginning, but is there always tracking with 2B mindset? Because I'm not familiar with 2B that much.
Erin, how much do you track now?
I still track every day. Yeah, through the whole time. I like tracking. It just helps keep me focused. And so, because in my mind, I think if I quit tracking, I'd be like, okay, I'm done, you know, and I would not take it seriously, probably. So every day.
What's the purpose of tracking? Are you like really so you can track like the veggies, the amount of veggies that you have and the amount of protein to make sure you have the right proportion basically, or?
I used to track in that way before. Now it's more to just make sure I'm eating at the right time, and also to make sure I'm eating the right foods, just enough veggies that I have veggies at every meal on that, you know. So it's a little less about portions for me, but more just about making sure I'm eating clean, healthy food.
So I mean, like Portion Fix, you have to you have to track, because that's so important for the number of containers, unless you're eating, you know, you're used to eating the same thing every day. 2B mindset, it's, you know, you kind of look at each meal, each plate to see what you have to make sure your proportions are right. But yeah, timing and then if the scale does change, go, okay, what like how often am I like, well, what did I have yesterday? What could have caused that? And sometimes it's just something small. You're like, okay, not like I need to have carbs at lunch and I need to keep my carbs in the first half of the day. Like it's simple. And paper tracker, I use the paper tracker. Erin, do you use paper? Pen and paper?
I use the app. I use the BOD app.
Right.
Yeah.
And Miranda, how about you? Write it down.
I use my planner. It's not the 2B tracker, but I use my wellness planner.
And Jenny, how are you? You're doing 2B?
Sorry, I'm outside and there are chainsaws and planes and I don't know. I think everybody has come out at this time. So I've just been silent. I've been using the tracker just because I'm new to it and wanted to visually see that pie chart every day of, vegetables, protein, all this. And it's been a discovery for me in the last couple of weeks of starting it, of just like, wow, that's really missing and that's missing. So trying to get it to where it needs to be before I'm successful in maintaining it, I need to establish it first. And with having 3 kids, it's just hard because some of them are picky eaters and others would probably go along with my plan. And again, I am one that has never made 2 plans for my family. So I just want to make sure that I get all my ducks in a row, and they're just going to have to follow suit with what's offered. But yeah, right now the app, and but I'm usually a paper person. I still have a paper calendar and all the rest. So I'm likely going to start writing instead.
So you can download the PDF from Tubi and print it out if you want, or like Rhonda does, she just has a planner notebook. Happy Planner?
Yep.
Yeah, and writes it all in there. So it's finding out what fits, and this is a plan. You can't just, okay, I'm starting, I'm going to do it 100%. Like Tubi, I think you have to adjust in a little bit more because you have to figure out how it's going to work best for you. And then adjust as you track and figure out that,
And for me, my kids haven't gone back to school yet. We're in Vancouver, BC in Canada, and they go back in 2 weeks, I think, or 2.5 weeks. And so we still have camping trips and birthdays and all these things popping up, which is irregular and not helping my plan.
Yes. Yes, we are going on a big hiking trip the 12th of September. So that's going to be like in the middle of MBFA, and I'm like, woo! And we're planning dinner and for camping for like, because we're like backpacking, so it's going to be dehydrated, and it's going to be like ramen noodles with stuff for dinner. And I'm like, okay, I'm hiking all day. It'll be okay.
Well, what I actually did, I looked in the nutrition app under the recipes for breakfasts and stuff, and then talked to my husband and worked our way backwards from things that I could pre-do, like egg cups and stuff. And then I just said, well, this is what we're having instead of him just throwing out, oh, we're doing hamburgers and we're doing this and hot dogs. I'm like, well, that's great, but that's not what I'm doing. So my shopping list will look a bit different.
Yes. Yeah. And that for adventures and things, you have to make it all work for everyone, and you have to compromise a bit on meal plans, but it's still finding enough that you feel good about it, that you're like, okay, I'm meeting most of my needs. Because there's no point in starving yourself on a trip because you won't eat anything everyone else is having, or being uncomfortable the whole time. It's like going to a party and not having anything to eat, right? You take a veggie tray. Sorry, you said you didn't need anything, but I wanted to eat something. But we are about to lose our video, so I will wrap up on those fabulous input, and I will upload this to the group. So group is all of them. So share with people and invite new people. And yes, have a happy Tuesday. Thanks for coming, guys.
Bye.
Bye.